another fireside chat without the fire. This is still January 2nd. I just turned it off, but I turned it back on because I remember something that I wanted to share. I talked about my grandma coming to live with us. My mom being the sandwich generation, she's taking care of the kids, and she was taking care of grandma. Man, when my grandpa died, my mom had to go down there. Well, first she went down there because he was in the hospital. You know, she was been catching while he was in the hospital and stuff. But then, but he eventually died, and we knew that my grandma would be coming to live with us, and so she was in Louisiana. And while she was in Louisiana, we were getting the house ready for grandma to come in. And boy, did we get busy waiting for going to get grandma. And everything we did, we ended up messing something up. But you know, my aunt and them, they were checking on us and they were able to come and help. But first, let me tell you, first we're gonna paint the basement. I started with the yellow paint. Paint the baby, had paint all in my hair and stuff. In fact, when I went to school, and it was one of those, that was back in the day we wore them Sherlock Holmes hats. It was two-sided. It had a bill on the front and a bill on the back. It was Sherlock. I had so much, well, I didn't have so much paint in my hair. Well, I didn't have a whole lot, but I had paint in my hair. You don't cut your hair out. You cover it up. And so I went to school with the Sherlock Holmes hats on because I had the paint in my hair. But then the other thing we did was we was going to bring the sofa down because we were making a room that was upstairs, getting it ready for grandma. I think that room had a sofa in it. As far as we were taking the sofa out of the room, the kids were, no adults were at home at the time. And I'm going to have to ask my mom because I don't remember how grandma got back to our place. I don't know if mom and dad went to Louisiana so dad could drive back. Or if grandma came back down on a plane with mom on a plane. But I don't think so. I think they must have drove back because I don't think grandma got on a plane. But anyway, so we were the adult. When we didn't have any adults at home, it was just me and my sister that was in charge. And so we get in the house ready for grandma. And we're taking that sofa. We brought it from down upstairs. And we're going to bring it down in the basement. It came from upstairs to downstairs fine. But then when we started to bring it down in the basement, the sofa got stuck in there. We couldn't maneuver it. We couldn't get it out. It was like, so right there in the stairwell going down into the basement, sofa was stuck. So when you're going down in the basement, you got to crawl underneath the sofa and stuff like that. So anyway, we were we're just trying to get the basement a little bit more fancy. That's why, I was putting the yellow paint on there. And there was a room down there. I remember it was a room in the back that had a queen size bed or something. I don't remember what it was, but we were doing something to get things straight for grandma and making that room upstairs ready. And so we got the sofa stuck. And then the other thing that happened was some kind of flood in the basement. And so this is the way my aunt was calling. She was calling to check on us and see how we were doing. And she was talking to her son. That was the youngest one, the one that the mom was raising it. And she asked him, what he doing? And he said, playing with my boat. And she said, where you playing with your boat? He said, in the basement. What you doing? In the water, in the basement. And so then you realize we had a flooded basement. So anyway, that basement had flooded, and we ain't telling anybody. We was gonna try to sort it out, I guess. But anyway, so once she was talking to her son and found out the basement flooded, so then she came over there with three other adults. Her and two friends came over there with these boots all the way up, to past their knees to go down in the basement to figure out what was going on with the water there. And then they had to help us get the sofa from being unstuck because they couldn't get down in the basement until they moved the sofa unless they crawled under like we did. So anyway, that was some stuff. I mean, we were kids. We were just trying to help, get things ready for when mom and them come back and grandma got her room all ready and stuff like that. But we had all that going on. The basement, I don't think we ever got finished painting the basement, that little area that I was painting. Never picked that up again. Once we stopped because our sofa got stuck, and so we left that alone. But they came, they helped us out, and everything went back to normal. But anyway, so now I just turned the thing back on to talk about that because that was a funny time. But I don't know what else to talk about right now. But I do want to talk about what's in the news about this. It was not today, but yesterday. This man, he was supposed to be cleaning. He was supposed to be cleaning the bathrooms. You probably heard on them too. He supposed to be cleaning the bathroom, but the man went in an unauthorized area and he stuck his hand in the lion's cage or tiger cage. A tiger cage it was a tiger cage, and what you think happened? The tiger got his hand and wouldn't let it go, and so he had to call 911. And he was on the phone with 911, telling them how the tiger got his hand and we couldn't get it out. And so then the police came over there and they had to shoot the poor tiger. They had to shoot the poor tiger dead because they couldn't scare him. He wasn't scared. They tried to scare him, but that didn't work to make him release the man's hand. That didn't work. So now the man in the hospital, and then they trying to wonder whether or not they should bring him up on charges. I'm like, absolutely sure they should bring that man up on charges. Unfortunately, they had the poor tiger had to die. So I don't know if that's so terrible because I mean he was in a cage anyway. Nobody want to be locked up. Give me liberty, give me death. Give me liberty or give me death. So anyway, Tiger was all locked up, but now he dead. But then they talk about whether or not the man should be brought up on charges. And I think he should, because he should have put his hand in there in the first place. What were you trying to do? Pet the tiger? But they investigate to find out what was going on. But he wasn't supposed to be in that area anyway. It was an unauthorized area. But anyway, so I just want to bring that up because that was in the news. That was some funniness that happened in the news. Always comedy, always comedy going on in the news. And so, let's see what else I could talk about. I think I would just turn it on. It was all that's a real short one. That is 6 minutes. That was the shortest one I ever made. But anyway, let me see what other part about that I could talk about. Let me see. I talked about my career. I did. What did I do with the career choices? I guess I did some traveling. In fact, that's why I joined the military. When I joined the military, so that I could travel. I remember that was a big decision-making point for me. I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to be able to travel the world. And I got a regular Army commission. I didn't get a reserve commission. Reserve commission, there's two different types of commissions you can get. A regular Army commission, there are very few and in between. Most people don't get regular Army commissions. You gotta have your act together when you get the regular Army commission or RA. And see, that it was a mistake giving it to black people. They gave me a RA commission. Now, had this commission gone to somebody else, some other body, some other culture, they probably would have kept their act together and probably would have ended up being a 1 or 2 star general, just made a career out of it, stayed in our military for 30 years. You can do that when you got a regular Army commission. You don't have to worry about when you got a reserve commission, then you got to worry about, you got to keep on making sure that they're not overstrength. They put you out anytime they decide to because they're overstrength and they need to. But when you got an RA commission, you don't have to worry about that. So I had an RA commission. I could be in the Army 30 years or something like that. But you bet on black. And so, because of all this stuff that went on with me in my career, sacrificing my career for my family, thinking that, I could save the family and all that other kind of stuff. But anyway, but the reason why I joined the military, my decision to get in the military anyway, was to be able to travel and go different places. And so, I did. I had a good stretch and did different cities and had a good career and went to El Paso. Of course, went to Germany. Did a lot of cities. Went to different cities in the United States, and so that was all fun. But anyway, even though what I want to talk about right now is just I can't think of anything that is exciting. I could talk about the family all day and what we're at. I got stuff in this house that because this house is like a time capsule because I bought it in 2002 for my parents. And never imagined that I would be still holding on to it 20 years because when I bought it for them, told them, no, don't hang anything up on the walls. We don't want any holes in the walls and stuff like that because we're not going to keep it. I'm just buying this as a backup plan in case things don't work out with me and Reggie. Things didn't work out with me and Reggie. So, I'm keeping the house. The only reason why I bought, because Reggie was supposed to, I told you that house in San Antonio I was supposed to give to my parents. It was a starter home, and now we're going to give it to my parents. But, he talked about, go ahead, sell it, and then we'll buy our parents a house on the East Coast later on. And plus, he was going to buy his dad a boat and stuff like that. Big plan, So anyway, when things were falling apart for us in 2001, Yeah, I bought this house in 2002 just as a backup, just in case things doesn't work out with us. I went ahead and bought the house. So anyway, because this house has been around the boy, you all have been here. You all used to come here. You did with your grandma's house, and you knew my old pa's house, and you dyed eggs, and you used to. This is where you came. Used to play in the yard out there with the flying the kites and doing all kinds of stuff. You rode your bikes around in the what they call that thing? What that thing called? Cul-de-sac. Used to ring it out there in the cul-de-sac. But anyway, so you've been here, but because the place has been around, it still had stuff in it that I was keeping on to, y'all, that I hadn't gotten rid of. And so one of these days, I think I'm gonna lay all that stuff out and then show it to you. And so you can see it was all the tapes and things that we had from Germany, things that we used to listen to on a daily basis. Because we're in Germany, you didn't listen to radios. We used to listen to these tapes and stuff all the time. And so it's coming up on a time now, like this stuff. I'm gonna eventually get rid of this stuff. I'm not gonna just keep holding on to it. You know, you all are grown now, and it's and I don't have any delusions that someday you might want to have any of this stuff. It's just that I would like, before I get rid of it, just to put it on record like I have it here on tape. All these pictures and sort of in the photo albums and things, I've already taken that and put that with the people. Who do people call the ones that take it and make it digital? Legacy. I sent it all to Legacy Box and took that stuff and I put it on the disc. And so all the little hard copies of photos that I had, they've all been digitized. Mostly all of them, not all of them, but mostly all of them. Some of the ones that were doubles, and some of them that wasn't, didn't, exposure wasn't really clear or something. I didn't get those done. So 100% of them are not have not been digitized. But I think about 80% of the photos and stuff that you had was digitized. But eventually those old all that hard copy stuff, I'm not gonna hold on to that stuff. I mean, what did we hold on to it for? So it'd be online, and then who knows what, over time, that's what ended up happening. You lose stuff, and it'll be at loss. But some of the stuff that digitized, maybe your kids or grandkids later on, if y'all ever have kids and grandkids, they might want to see some of the pictures from your earliest years and things like that. So that's the only reason why I put that stuff on tape. But I don't know what else to do with the other stuff. I might give it to the Goodwill and stuff like that. But it was like, the little language tapes and things like that I had. It was just something that I hadn't parted with, because it was a place. It was inside the closet somewhere. It's still in there. And so, like I said, I might just go through that one day, just take pictures of it and let you see it. And so I don't know. But anyway, let me go ahead and turn this off. It's at 13 minutes. I think that's the shortest one I ever made yet. And I guess that's about it. That's about it. Let me turn this off.